Dad, I want to invest my savings. I've been researching index funds and retirement accounts. I know I'm only 17, but I want to start building wealth the right way. Can you help me set up a custodial investment account? Richard stared at his son, barely recognizing the boy who had stood in his study a year ago, carelessly dismissing a $30,000 credit card bill. Of course, Richard said, his voice thick with emotion. But first, I want to tell you something. When I started my business, I had $5,000 in savings. That's it. I took that money and invested it in my first property. It took me 10 years to turn that $5,000 into $50,000. And another 10 years to turn that into $500,000. Building wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. I understand that now, Alex replied. A year ago, I would have spent $4,000 in a weekend and not even remembered what I bought. Now, this $4,000 feels like a foundation, like the beginning of something important. Richard smiled. It is. Let me teach you everything I know. Over the next months, Richard became more than a father to Alexei, became a mentor. They discussed business principles, investment strategies, and the psychology of wealth. But more than tactics, Richard taught Alex about values. Money amplifies who you are, Richard explained. If you're generous, money makes you more generous. If you're selfish, money makes you more selfish. The question is on how much money you have, what kind of person you are with the money you have. Alex also reconnected with his mother in a new way. Linda taught him about philanthropy, how to give meaningfully, how to research charities, how to use wealth to create positive change. Your father built this wealth, Linda said. But wealth comes with responsibility. We have more than we need, which means we have the opportunity to help others. That's not optionally an obligation. Alex started thinking about his future differently. He didn't just want to be rich. He wanted to be someone who created value, who helped others, who used money as a tool to build a life of meaning and purpose. On his 18th birthday, his parents gave him a gift, a small investment property that needed renovation. Not as a handout, but as a teaching opportunity. This is your first project, Richard said. You'll manage the renovation, find tenants, handle the finances. You'll make mistakes. You'll learn, and when you're ready, you can sell it or keep it as passive income. This is how you build wealth, one smart decision at a time. Alex accepted the challenge with excitement and humility. He knew this was a privilege most people didn't have, but he also knew he wouldn't waste it. 2 years later, Alex was 19 and in college, studying business and finance. He still worked part-time at Quick Bergenot because he had to, but because he wanted to stay connected to the lessons he'd learned there. Teresa had become like a second mother to him. Maria's kids now had a college fund that Alex had helped establish. Jerome had graduated and landed a good job, and Alex had written him a recommendation letter. The investment property his parents gave him had been successfully renovated and was generating monthly income. Alex had taken that income and invested it, watching his wealth grow slowly and steadily. But the most important change wasn't in his bank account, it was in his character. One day, a young kid came into Quick Burger, clearly wealthy based on his designer clothes and expensive watch. He ordered rudely, snapped at the cashier, and left his trash on the table even though the garbage can was 3 feet away. Alex watched, remembering himself at that age. He walked over, cleaned up the trash, and thought about how far he'd come. That evening, Alex went home and started writing. He created a blog called The Real Value, where he shared his journey from entitled rich kid to someone who understood what money actually meant. His first post went viral. Thousands of people commented, sharing their own stories of learning to value money. Some were young people from wealthy families who related to his original mindset. Others were people who had always struggled financially and appreciated hearing someone acknowledge their reality. Alex started speaking at schools, sharing his story with teenagers. He partnered with financial literacy organizations to teach young people about money management. He created a scholarship fund for kids who wanted to go to college but couldn't afford it. His parents watched with pride as their son transformed from a careless consumer into a thoughtful leader. One day, Richard pulled Alex aside. "Do you remember what you said when I first cut off your allowance? You said it was embarrassing to work." Alex nodded, cringing at the memory. "What would you say now?" Richard asked. Alex thought for a moment. "I'd say that it's not embarrassing to work. What's embarrassing is being incapable. What's embarrassing is wasting the gifts you've been given. What's embarrassing is looking down on people who work hard while you contribute nothing." Richard smiled. "You've learned the most important lesson. Wealth isn't about how much money you have. It's about what you do with it, how you earn it, and who you become in the process." So, what can we learn from Alex's story? What are the powerful lessons that can change your relationship with money forever?